My 4-year-old asked when the baby was coming. I'm not pregnant. She said, the lady with daddy said she's having a baby. I was standing at the kitchen counter chopping vegetables for dinner when my daughter Olive tugged on my shirt. Mommy, when is the baby coming to live with us? I laughed and touched my flat stomach. What baby are you talking about, sweetheart? The baby in the lady's tummy. The pretty lady who was with daddy at the park. My hand stopped moving completely. The knife clattered onto the cutting board. What pretty lady are you talking about, Olive? The one with the yellow hair. She was really nice to me. She rubbed her big tummy and told me I was gonna be a big sister really soon. She seemed really excited about it. My husband Garrett was supposed to be at work last Saturday. He told me he had urgent overtime that could not wait. I called him immediately with shaking hands. He answered on the 4th ring, sounding annoyed and distracted. I am in the middle of an important meeting right now. What do you need? Where were you on Saturday when you told me you were working overtime at the office? I was at work the entire day. Why are you asking me this? Because Olive just told me you were at Riverside Park with a pregnant blonde woman who told our daughter she was going to be a big sister soon. Complete silence on the other end of the line. I could hear him breathing, but he said nothing for what felt like forever. Then he laughed in this forced way that made my skin crawl. Kids have such wild imaginations at that age. I was working all day Saturday. You can ask anyone at my office if you want. He hung up before I could say another word. That night I went through his phone while he was in the shower. His messages looked completely normal. His location history showed work addresses and nothing suspicious at all. I almost convinced myself that Olive had somehow made the whole thing up or confused a dream with reality. Then I found the second phone. It was taped to the back of his nightstand drawer with black electrical tape. I discovered it completely by accident while searching for my phone charger that had fallen behind the furniture. A cheap prepaid phone with no apps installed except for text messages. There were hundreds of messages to someone saved only as K. Flirty messages filled with heart emojis and promises. Photos of a beautiful blonde woman with bright blue eyes smiling at the camera. Ultrasound pictures with little hearts drawn around them and the words, "Our little miracle," written underneath. Messages planning their entire future together in detail. How they would tell his family everything after our divorce was finalized. How she could not wait to finally become his wife and have his last name. How their baby was going to have his beautiful eyes and her blonde hair. How they would move somewhere far away and start completely over. The most recent message was from that very morning sent at 7:15. I cannot wait to see you at lunch today, my love. Our usual spot. I love you more than anything in this world. I took screenshots of absolutely everything and sent them all to my own phone. Then I put his secret phone back exactly where I found it with the tape in the same position. The next morning, I kissed him goodbye like absolutely nothing was wrong. I told him to have a wonderful day at work and that I loved him. Then I dropped Olive at preschool and drove directly to their usual spot, a small quiet cafe 3 blocks from his office building. I parked across the street where I had a clear view and waited. At exactly noon, he walked in holding hands with a very pregnant blonde woman. They sat at a table right by the front window. He rubbed her swollen belly and kissed her forehead gently. She looked at him like he hung the moon in the sky. I took photos of everything through my car window. That night, I made his absolute favorite dinner, lit candles on the table, put Olive to bed early. When he walked through the door, I was sitting at the dining room table waiting for him with a calm expression. How was your day? Rough one at work? Absolutely the worst day. Back-to-back meetings all day long. I could not even take a lunch break. I was so busy. I nodded slowly. That is really strange, actually, because I sat outside that little cafe and watched you eat lunch with your pregnant girlfriend. You know, the one where you planned your whole future together after you divorced me? His face turned completely white. I slid printed screenshots across the table one by one. The messages, the photos, the ultrasound pictures. Her name is Kennedy. She is 7 months pregnant with your child. You told her you would leave me right after the holidays. He started crying and begging and making pathetic excuses. I let him talk for exactly 2 minutes. Then I handed him divorce papers already signed by my lawyer. He tried grabbing my arm desperately. I pulled away and walked to the front door where his packed bags were waiting. His mother was expecting him.